What exactly am I trying to accomplish in lifting my Tacoma? Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So like I said in the beginning, what am I trying to do? What am I trying to accomplish by lifting this truck? This is a 2020 Tacoma, and I want to tell you a little bit of history, just a second's worth. You know, until I had my 2018 Tacoma, the one before this one, I had never lifted any truck. I didn't know anything about lifts. You know, you see them on the road, they look cool. That's about all I knew. So I jumped into the lifting world with that truck and went to a shop and asked them, and I wasn't looking to spend a ton of money either. I mean, it really was what I'll call a budget lift. That's what a block and spacer lift is. In my case, it was a 3.2 Readylift. That's what I did on my 2018. So I sent that truck back to stock when I traded it in, and then I kept the 3.2 Readylift for this truck. And this, again, is a 2020 TRD off-road. It is a 4x4. That other one was an automatic. Manual transmission, if that matters. I don't know why it would. So I lifted the truck, this truck, and I haven't been very happy with the ride quality. And I know and I believe that the ride quality doesn't really have anything to do with the lift as far as I'm concerned. It's just a block and spacer lift. It doesn't really have anything to do with the ride quality. Where that comes in is how the existing setup, irregardless of the block and spacer lift, handles the bigger, heavier wheels and tires that I've put on. That's really what's key here. And I wanted bigger wheels and tires. I think they go, and of course, they go hand in hand with a lift, right? I mean, you can't lift a truck, although some people do it, and have little dinky donut-sized wheels and tires on it. It just isn't right. So you got to have bigger wheels and tires, which means you're going to increase the weight, the height, the width. You're going to increase everything about the tires when you go bigger, right? Your suspension, when you get it from the factory, isn't set up for that. So when you put the block and spacer lift on it, it doesn't take into account or help out with the bigger wheels and tires. That's kind of where I'm at right now. So just to be clear, there's nothing wrong with a block and spacer lift. It'll get your truck up in the air, doesn't cost a ton of money, but when you change out the wheels and tires, you're adding something extra that your truck's suspension has to handle. And if you only do a block and spacer lift, then you're not accounting for that. All right, so that kind of puts me as to where I am right now. I tell you, people are so friendly here. Let me get off topic for just a second. I got a guy that had a load, and I was pulling up to a stop sign. He had a big load in the back of an F-150. He actually pulled over. I guess he saw that my turn signal was on to turn in the direction he had just gone past. But he pulled over so I could get around him. And people do that here all the time. It's amazing to me how friendly people are, or how much they actually think about their fellow driver here. Kudos to the RGV, man. It's awesome. Anyway, back to my conundrum. So I have my truck, I have it lifted, I have the 3.2 Readylift on it, and the bigger, heavier wheels and tires. But the suspension just doesn't do an adequate job with them. You know, I get a bouncy ride, and I've read recently through different posts and on forums and things on the web that Tacomas are, or can be, the off-road trim, a little bit bouncy anyway. So it doesn't help matters when I change something like that or add something heavier to the truck. So I've got still a little bit of a bounce. It's nothing like what it was before I changed the wheels and tires. And I really do think that last set of wheels and tires contributed to it, because it was really bad on the freeway, almost to the point where I didn't feel safe driving the truck on the freeway. So I have the different wheels and tires on, but I still have, I can feel it in the seat. And I've even had a couple of comments in the videos and stuff. People have said that they can actually see the camera kind of bouncing a little bit. I'm not talking about when you just go over bumps and things in the road. I'm talking about just a steady bounce. So if it's that apparent coming through on a camera that has a little bit of video stabilization to it, then obviously it's still a problem, and it's not just me. So my search now has become to put a lift, and I'm still not looking to spend a fortune. I mean, I'm not going to be taking this truck off-road, heavy duty, or anything crazy like that, at least not in the foreseeable future. Not saying I won't ever do that, but it's nothing I'm looking to do, you know, right now. Maybe when the truck starts to get a little bit older, who knows? I don't know. But we're definitely not looking to do that right now. So I'm looking for a suspension that can handle the new setup, give me a smooth ride, get rid of that bounce, but still give me some sort of off-road capability. Because the last thing I want to do is have an off-road truck and kill its ability to go off-road. I mean, I'm not looking to do that. So I'm looking for kind of that middle ground. And you know, it's like buying an all-season tire. You know, when you buy an all-season tire, you're kind of going down the middle, and it's good in some conditions, and it's not so good in other conditions. It's just kind of down the middle. And that's kind of where I think I'm at with this lift. You know, I don't want something that's so fully off-road capable. You know, I could drive down a cavern and not feel it. That on the road, it's so stiff that it's horrible to drive. You can feel the cracks in the road. You know, I don't want that. But I do want something that's firm enough that I can go off-road without bottoming out the suspension or flipping me up to the roof or anything crazy like that, and still be comfortable on the road. Now, in my research, it seems to me that somewhere in the Bilstein or Bill Stein line, I can satisfy that need. I can scratch that itch. Now, whether that's 5100s all the way around, 6112s and 5160 or whatever they are in the back, but that's a reservoir. I think it's a 5160. Whatever it is, it's a reservoir shock, which I don't need. I'm not going to be doing any desert racing, anything where, you know, I gotta worry about keeping the fluid cool, you know, where I'm constantly doing this at high speed. So I don't really want anything with a reservoir in it. You know, with a reservoir, you're going to have the reservoir itself, you're going to have the line, connections, just more opportunity for things to go wrong. And that's not what I want. So I'm looking for I guess it's a monotube, I guess that's what you call it, shock for the back. Now, one other thing that I mentioned I'm wanting to do, I want to maintain this lift. I want a 3-inch lift, and from a lot of what I've seen, you can't just put a shock or a strut on and have a 3-inch lift. You can get a 2-inch, you can get a 2 1/4, 2 1/2, something like that, but you can't get a 3-inch lift. From everything that I've seen, you've got to do a coilover or maybe shocks and struts in combination with spacers and blocks, which I don't have a problem with as long as I can attain the ride that I want. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm going to go to the shop. We're going to do that very, very soon and get the opinion of the people who do this every day, what I'll call, or who I'll call the experts, you know, the people that really ought to be knowledgeable about this because it's what they do. Now, hopefully I get somebody that's not just trying to sell me a product. I mean, I'm looking to buy a product. You don't have to sell me. I'm already sold. So sell me a product that's going to satisfy what I need. Anyway, leave a comment down below. Let me know. Am I the only one that runs into this kind of a situation? Surely I can't be. I mean, not everybody out there is born with lift knowledge, right? Anyway, let me know. Also, little quick plug, if you haven't before and you're interested, check out my other channel. It is RobMotive, all about my 2020 Jeep Gladiator. And don't forget to click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on what happens with my saga. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.